All right. Good afternoon, listeners. We are back again. Listeners, thank you for tuning in to the Real on Real Estate radio show. And we are live in the studios of WMBM 1490 in Miami.
Okay.
All right. And I am Realtor K. Brunson's licensed realtor with K1 Realty Group. And of course, during the show, you can contact, or actually after the show, or anytime, you can contact me by calling at 954 552-5919 on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter under K1K Realtor K Bronson. Oh, that coffee hasn't kicked in yet, Samantha. And of course, our real estate broker is Dr. Karen Jones Lewis, licensed real estate broker with K1 Realty Group. Dr. Karen can be reached at 305-323-1556 and on social media under K1 Realty Group. All right, Samantha.
Okay, so this is Samantha Joseph, of course, with K1 Realty Group, and I got contacted at 305-783-1591. That is my cell phone number.
Great. Okay, so of course, Samantha, we had such a great show last Saturday that we were here. We had a mortgage officer in. He was giving us information about student loan debt.
Brian was great. He gave us
awesome.
a lot of great information about mortgages, refinancing. He gave us a lot of info. So.
Correct. And of course, for luxury home owners or one looking for luxury property, you can also he talked about jumbo loans. So of course, that was definitely a great show.
Thanks for coming, Brian.
Yes, Brian, thanks. And of course, listeners, if you want to hear the highlights of our last show, make sure you visit us at K1 Realty Group on Facebook. All right, so we're just going to jump straight on into the market trends. And of course, right now there is last month, or the last quarter, I should say, properties are still being listed. In Miami, single-family home increased by 2%, and that went from about 1,781 up to 1,778 listings that actually went on the market just last month. In Broward, it actually decreased just a little bit, not much, by 5.9%. So about 1,898 dropped down to right at 2,000 homes that listed last month for Broward. And of course, for Palm Beach, single-family homes, it decreased just a little bit, about 1%. But of course, it was still over 2,233 properties that were listed in Palm Beach. So listeners, if you're looking to list your property, properties are still being listed. And of course, for our buyers, of course, that makes the inventory better, so you're actually able to get more properties out there. Also, what we did see an increase is in cash buyers. Man, cash buyers in Broward is really booming. A lot of international clients are actually buying here in Broward and also Miami. But I mean, just to know that if you have a cash buyer, that actually makes it a best win-win for definitely the seller and the buyer, because what it does is it makes it more inventory, of course, but also with the seller, you don't have the woes of actually going through financing. So just in Broward,
that can make a big difference.
Well. I mean, when we're looking at closing the property at maybe 12, 15 days, who doesn't want to do that?
Exactly.
Okay, but of course now, again, in Broward, Miami, Palm Beach, cash transactions nearly doubled the national figures at 23%.
Wow, okay.
So we're doing really good on closing deals and on cash buyers. And of course, again, if you're looking to sell or buy, make sure that you give us a call at 954-552-5919, and we can actually handle all your real estate needs. Okay, Samantha, what's going on in the community?
Okay, so there's always something going on in the community in South Florida. It's a busy place. So the opportunity zone rules have been released on the federal level. So regulations of opportunity zones have been released by the U.S. Treasury and the IRS just this past Wednesday. So for anyone who may not know, an opportunity zone is an area where the government will provide financial incentives when investing in real estate within certain areas. With the new regulations, there will be a 12-month grace period to sell assets and use those proceeds to reinvest, which will all happen within the opportunity zone. So that's something that previously changed. Before, there was not a grace period. So that's something that was actually updated. The Opportunity Zone program includes tax breaks, and investors and developers can defer or forego paying capital gains on taxes. And an even bigger tax breaks goes to investors who are investing in the long term. So if investors are keeping their investments in an opportunity zone for at least 10 years, they might not have to pay capital gains taxes at all. So if you are an investor and you want full tax breaks, make sure you invest by the end of 2019 because investing by the end of 2019 is required if you want full tax breaks.
Oh, wow, tax breaks. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
you know everyone
Always look for
try to
tax
avoid,
breaks, right?
saving some taxes.
Right,
Um,
right.
So according to the Miami Herald, South Miami, Hialeah, Wynwood, and will probably be popular target areas for Miami. And in Broward, Plantation, Hollywood, and parts of Pompano Beach will be hot spots for investors. And I know a lot of stuff is going on in South Miami lately
Yes.
when it comes to new developments,
Correct.
investors. Because apparently, it's a little cheaper down there because things aren't as developed as, up north, Miami.
Correct, and of
or-
course, I mean, who doesn't wanna be in South Miami, South Florida, and of course, with the Super Bowl and everything that's coming in 2020, a lot of
Oh,
people are
yes.
scrambling, trying to get, whatever property they can get here, so that's definitely, this market is always hot. And of course, we're just gonna keep it going, we wanna make sure that we have a special guest in the house, and we wanna make sure that we have enough time so you guys can really get the information that he has to provide. So we're gonna jump right on into the real deal question of the day. Our question of today, and so it's time, we have to do our official drum roll to let you know that it's time for the real deal question. Our question for today is to name 3 home improvements or replacement/repairs that requires a building permit to be completed. So again, if you are looking to do some home improvements, what are 3 things that may require or will require a building permit to be completed or to be pulled? Okay.
So for anyone who wants to call in, someone call in. It's free money. Call in. For Miami listeners, it's 305-653-9626. For Broward listeners, call 954-525-1490. And for our out-of-town listeners, you can call at 1-855-599-1490.
Great. So guys, go ahead and get started calling. We'll give you a moment, but while we're doing that and we're waiting for you guys to call in, we do want to say that we are looking here at K1, we're always looking for professional, self-motivated, serious licensed individuals that are looking to grow their business with K1 Realty Group. And of course, we're looking for that individual that's self-driven, customer service focused, they emphasize zeal and learning. And if this sounds like you, definitely give us a call. But of course, if you're not licensed and you just want to know more about becoming a real estate agent, you can also contact us. Our contact number is 954-552-5919. Okay? Do we have anyone on the line yet? Okay, so we're just gonna keep it going, and now our guest is here in the studio, and we're gonna give you the opportunity to meet our guest. Guest, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Christopher McAnuff. I am a real estate appraiser, state certified, FHA approved.
Great, Chris, man, I met Chris some years ago, and all this time, Chris been hiding the secret that he is a appraiser.
I ain't behind this, I'm seeing you.
Right, so I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to run into each other again,
Yes,
and
yes,
we
yes.
can actually connect in the real estate business.
Mhm,
Awesome.
mhm.
So Chris, I just wanna ask you, I mean, we sit down and we do home presentation or listing presentation with homeowners, and, we actually give them a recommended price as far as we're saying, hey, this is what your property is valued at per the market. And of course, a lot of times what we believe the property is valued at and what the homeowner believes it is valued at are 2 different things.
Okay.
2 different things.
Okay.
So, of course, they're looking at it on the emotional term. This is my house, it's
You
gonna
have
be here long.
attachment,
We've
it's been in
been
the family for a
children,
certain amount of
yes.
time.
So their aspect on it is a little bit different. We're looking at it basically, what is the market saying to us?
Mhm.
So can you explain to our listeners how property value in the neighborhood can actually be influenced?
One of the ways property values can be influenced is based on your neighborhood. You know, they say location, location, location.
Mhm.
So take for example, if you got a property that's over there by Fort Lauderdale Beach
Mhm.
versus something that's in another neighborhood, let's just say Lauderhill or Lauderdale Lakes.
Mhm.
Obviously, the property values in Lauderdale, Lauderdale Lakes not gonna be as high as over there by the beach.
The beachfront.
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. So that's an influence. A neighborhood location is very, very big. And also the way your neighbors keep up their properties.
Mhm.
And how they pay their mortgage as well, because
Oh, wow.
if you have a lot of
Mhm.
foreclosures in your neighborhood,
Mhm.
then it's gonna drive the price of your home down. Because what's gonna wind up happening is that people will say, okay, well, we've got 3 houses over here that sold for, let's say, $200,000, and you want 250 for your house.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, why would I go ahead and buy your house for 250 when they got them selling for a lot less than what, you know, you're offering right now?
Wow.
So that has a big influence. Another thing that has an influence on your property, like I said before, is how your neighborhood keeps your homes. Because if you've got, let's say for example, 4 houses on one block, and your house happened to be one of those houses, and you're trying to sell your house, and 3 of the houses were not upgraded. You know, the
Mhm.
person didn't do anything to it, no upkeep, the pool's in a mess,
Mhm.
you know, the roof's in a mess. So you got people who bought those houses, and they bought them for less than what they're less than what you're asking. So that could have an influence on your value of your property as well. So there's a couple of things that go into it to determine, hey, what is my property valued at?
So how directly does the upkeep of someone else's house affect your home as far as distance? So what if, your block is nice, but then, a couple blocks, the next few blocks is just a bunch of rundown homes? Like how far do you look?
Okay, well, basically, it depends on the neighborhood. Take, for example, Sunrise Gulf Village, where I live, right? I can live on one block, and then you have another house that's maybe 3 blocks over. It's still in the same city of Sunrise Gulf Village.
Okay.
As an appraiser, what I try to do, I try to stay within a mile or less, and I try to stay within 6 months. So that house is about 3 houses over from your house, or 3 blocks over, excuse me, from your house. Then I'm gonna use it as a comparable.
Okay.
If it's similar to your property in terms of bedroom, bath, age, stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take that into consideration. I will make an adjustment for a condition, but it's still not gonna really help that much, or possibly help that much, simply because of the fact that that person hasn't really been keeping their house up as much as they should or could.
Correct.
So when
Mhm.
So when it comes to comparables and you're looking for things that are close in size, location, condition, things like that, has it ever happened where there are no comparables? What happens if there aren't any comparables?
In a situation where there are no comparables, what an appraiser will typically do, he'll extend the search in terms of time and distance. So, for example, as an appraiser, I try to stay as recent as possible to the effective date of the appraisal. Effective date meaning the day of inspection. So if I appraise your property on the 1st of January, I try to stay within 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. If I can't find anything, then I'll go back as far as a year if I possibly can. I mean, if I have to, excuse me.
Okay.
And if there's still nothing, then I will probably go outside of, again, like I said, I live in Sunrise Gulf Village. I'll go outside of Sunrise Gulf Village, and I'll look in the neighboring, the comparative neighborhood to make sure that I find comps. That's normally what we do as appraisers. We will go out and we'll look for homes that are, as I said before, close, and in terms of distance, or if we have to go over a mile, we will. And we also, as I said before, try to stay within a particular time frame, because what a property sold for 12 months ago is not what it's selling for
Correct.
today.
That market.
Because,
Yes.
yes, because
That's
as you
a
said
good
earlier,
point.
yeah, as you said earlier, Kay, prices have reduced in Palm Beach County
Correct.
and Broward County. So yeah, to make sure I don't cheat the homeowner or the buyer, I make sure I use the most recent sales.
Correct. And I wanna go back, cause you gave us a bunch of, good points on even the neighborhood being influenced. And we talked about, for the most part, you were saying foreclosed properties or distressed properties. And if a neighborhood has, many of those, and, you have investors, that's what they're looking for. There's like their goal, to see that property in a nice neighborhood that has foreclosed or either it's distressed. So I just wanna know, so if for investors who go into that neighborhood and they buy those properties, many times they're gonna renovate those properties and make them so upscale to, where the property has now either in line or exceeded the property that's next to them.
Mhm.
So when that happens,
Mhm.
have you ever experienced a situation where, you may have went into one area and the property value was low, but because investors went in and did those type of renovations, that it increases? Has that ever been an experience of yours?
Oh, yeah, I've come across that so much you wouldn't believe.